Well, I'm back from my challenge on Alatreon. You guys all said those black dragons hit different. Well, let me just show you how different it hit me.
Perishes.
58 times I died to this dragon, so says my editor, who was enjoying writing down timestamps of every time I died. 58 times. I think I've died to this single monster more times than I fainted in the entire journey to get to this monster. Welcome back to another Monster Hunter World Journal. Oh my god. This was a very interesting fight. 4-hour stream. All I fought was Alatreon, and spoilers, I did not win. I came close, but I did not win. So the whole goal of this fight was I recognize I am not in my optimal setting. And I studied the fight of Alatreon where I understood the mechanics. He has 3 phases, Fire, Dragon, Ice. You have to inflict a certain amount of elemental damage to topple him so that you can survive his supernova, otherwise you insta-die. And then the second part is you have to break his horns when he's in dragon mode so that he stops changing into ice mode, where if you have my ice weapon, you cannot inflict damage. So I understood the mechanic, and I was like, I have this pretty nice switch axe with so I watched a lot of math videos, like specifically Gaijin Hunters, math to beat Alatreon, and I looked at my numbers and I'm like, well, I don't seem that underleveled. Like, sure, my defense is under 1,000, but my switch axe has 600 something elemental attack, and you add in a few like crits and sharpness and all that, and it gets up there in terms of how much damage I can do. So like, if I can topple Alatreon, I can theoretically win this match. I was like, can I do that?
No.
So I went into this fight with the sole goal of seeing if I could topple it. And the first hour, it did not look so good. I was getting trampled on a lot, but what was happening at the same time is I was learning how to move around Alatreon. And I have to say, like, the fact that I played this guy 4 hours straight and didn't want to rage quit is really telling at how well designed this monster is. Because when I fought Rajang, I wanted to rage quit. When I fought a lot of other monsters that gave me trouble, I wanted to rage quit because it was frustrating. I was super frustrated. But with Alatreon, I was never frustrated with the monster. I was frustrated with myself because I would always see like, I should have been moving here. I should have been moving here. And that kind of frustration makes you want to go, let me try one more time. Let me try one more time. And it felt honestly like, if you've seen my Castlevania runs, I ran into a lot of bosses which were very difficult. But once you learn the mechanic or the pattern and you can execute as a player, you can overcome it. It was that very same feeling with Alatreon where I'm like, I see what he's doing. I know what I need to do. I just have to execute it. And the more I went up against them, the more like I was able to do it. And after an hour of trying in stream, finally he toppled. I was like, I can actually hit the DPS check. This is doable. And then I think like the whole crowd, no, the first thing I did, sorry. The first thing I did is I broke his horn off, which that got everyone, I'm like, oh my God, I just did progress. I knocked off his horn. And people were like saying in the voice chat in Discord, people apparently were like going like screaming or something. So, and then shortly after that horn break, I got the topple. So I'm like, I can break his horn. I can topple it. I can do the pieces. Now I just got to bring it all together and execute right. And it was such an intense night. There's one fight, and it was always learning too. So at first it was learning how to dodge, and then how to do like more. I wasn't focusing so much on the horn, but like, okay, how do I get damage in without getting hit? And then people were like, you're forgetting your mantle. So I'm like, oh, yeah, gotta get my mantles on. And then at one point I was trying to go at wall banging, and people were like, don't try to do wall bang. That's too complicated. I'm like, okay, back it up. Let's not do wall bang. Then I learned about the donut, the fire donut. And at first I was like, people were like, that's too complicated. And they told me what it was. I was like, oh, I'm not trying that. But once I started getting comfortable with like moving around most of his attacks, I was like, let me try getting in the donut. And I got into the donut a few times, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much space here. His face is here, and it just stays here for like 3 to 5 seconds that I can just smash it. I love the donut, and I made it a point to get better at always being in that donut because it gives you so much room for DPS. It's just a good place to be. The mechanic that I would say gave me the most trouble and still does is when he flies out. So if there's a match where he's flying a lot, I have troubles doing any kind of damage on him, and I don't know how to deal with it. So at one point I did try to bring flash pods and smoke pods, which were mixed results. The smoke bomb, for example, people are like, if you drop it and hide in it, he'll come and look for you. He'll come to the ground, look for you. So I dropped my first smoke bomb, and he just went whoop, fireball, and just like destroyed everything around the smoke bomb. I was like, well, that didn't work. So I have not seen a lot of success with the smoke bomb, and the flash pod, it blinds them, like it just brings them down and blinds. I ran out of flash pods or something, or I couldn't use them well enough. People were also saying, oh, when he takes off, you can flinch him in the air. I'm not good enough to do that yet. Another major hurdle that I came across was how I use my switch axe. And wow, this boss is so well designed. If you don't know how to use your weapon properly, it will spank you. And this is when I realized I did not know how to use my switch axe as well in World as, let's say, in Rise. I was trying to stay in sword mode a lot, and I know in sword mode you drain, and then if you let it drain too long, you lock up in that reload animation, which is almost insta-death in an Alatreon fight. So when I kept running into that, I'm like, okay, it's time to, like, how do I optimize this? Because in Rise I've done it so I have a combo where I know how to like charge it back up, but I actually didn't know how to charge it that well. I didn't know how to charge it in World. I'm like, am I just supposed to swing my axe? Because people are like, oh, I never use axe on Alatreon. I learned that I just have to keep it in axe. So when I'm running around in axe, let's say, it's recharging. If I'm rolling around in axe, it's recharging. And yes, sometimes you can get some swings in axe. It's not necessary to always be in sword mode. So I started using my switch axe way more with the whole switch thing, so much that some people commented, oh, he's actually looking like a switch axe user. And in that round, we got 2 or 3 topples. We broke both horns. People said, even I didn't see it, but people said he was dropping pods. And this was the round where I thought I was going to win. Well, I didn't think I was going to win, but everyone's like, you are so close to winning. You've got this. And of course I choked. I died. And I think I died to the supernova too, which was really frustrating. I don't know if I could survive it or if I had just like failed the DPS check, but it was really disappointing. So I'd come close, but not good enough. At this point I was completely drained, and my reflexes were getting slower and slower as the night went on. I was dying faster. I never kind of hit that peak again, and that was roughly 2.5, maybe 3 hours into the stream that I got like that good run. So there was a lot of learning, a lot of emotions. It was a great fight. I actually really love this fight. As much as I died, and there was just so much learning to be had, and I can't wait because I know it's all going to click together and I'm going to be able to take this thing down. So the next week I'm going in refresh. I might have some better like gear, assuming my grinding went well. And I really look forward to overcoming Alatreon because I see it. So it started off with, it's an ocean. How the heck am I going to do this? To there is land now. I can see the land. To now I'm like, I just got to close this gap. Like I just got to jump and I'm going to be over. Like it's so close to being over. What a freaking rush of a game. Like these feelings are great. So before I leave, I did set out a challenge for the Hey J community because when I started the stream with Alatreon, the vast majority of people were against me. They said my build was not good enough, or maybe they were saying my skill was not good enough, which is fair. But they were saying you have no chance in beating Alatreon with that gear, and the fact that I came close made me believe that it was doable. So I set out a challenge to the Hey J community. If anybody can do the Alatreon fight with my full build and a switch axe, very specific with a switch axe, because you can only do so much DPS with switch axe, I will include you in this video. So there were quite a few entries, quite a few successes. There are a lot of good players out there, far better than I, who had no troubles meeting this challenge. Some of you, I think, even did this run naked. So shout out to all of you. I do not have all the name as of this recording, but we will now be compiling all the winners of the challenge right here. So editor, do your thing. Congratulations to all, and thank you for participating in the Hey Jay Challenge. If you like that, I guess we're going to have to do some more Hey Jay Challenges down the road. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next journal or the Alatreon stream. And until next time, keep it classy.
Well, we're done.
Alatreon's readying a big attack. Get your healing items ready.
No!
You may look forward to more of this.